Hi, international students. I am Marcela Huitrago. I am your student ambassador in Conestoga College. Today, we are with Dan Kennedy. He is the manager of the Co-op.
Thank you very much for having me here and giving me the opportunity to talk to our prospective and current international students about Co-op. It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And can you provide us, please, an overview about the Co-op program at Conestoga?
Certainly. Conestoga, we have over 75 different programs that have a co-op aspect to it, and that is across all schools and all campuses. So whatever program you're in, whatever school you're in, whatever campus you're at, there is a co-op opportunity for that student. We have programs that are mandatory in that the student does not have an option to go out onto a co-op work term. They have to in order to graduate. And those are mostly for our degree programs. So the Bachelor's of Engineering, Bachelor of Business, for example, programs like that. Other programs are optional and competitive. And there a student will come in, they'll do a common first semester, maybe a first year with other students, and then they'll opt in to pursuing the co-op. We have limited seats for many of our programs. So just because you're interested in doing a co-op and just because you hit all the requirements, it does not necessarily mean that you're guaranteed a co-op seat. That is one of the that's part of the nature of having a competitive optional co-op program. We do work with students to get into the co-op, and if they're not successful in getting that co-op admissions, we do provide other referral and other services. We certainly don't want to just say no to a student and then leave them be. So we try to help them as best we can.
What are the key requirements for students to apply for the Co-op program?
So with mandatory programs, the requirement is that you're registered in the program as a full-time student, right? If you're in that program, you have to do a co-op. So mandatory, you have to be a registered full-time student. Mm-hmm. If you are on some sort of accommodation plan, we do allow for students who are on reduced timetables to be a part of co-op. But other than that exception, we do ask that all co-op students be full-time participants at the college. For our optional programs where a student has to apply, then it depends really a great deal on the individual programs. We work with program coordinators and faculty to establish entry criteria. And that ranges from, I think, as low as 65% session weighted average over the course of your first semester or your first year, again, depending on the program. Some programs are as high as 80%. So you have to get an 80% session weighted average in order to be accepted into the co-op. Those are the academic requirements. Beyond the academic requirements, all it will really ask for is that a student be legally eligible to work in Canada. And for our international students, that usually means that in addition to getting a study permit, that you have to get a co-op work permit along with that. Most students nowadays, we're seeing, especially most of our international students, we're seeing are coming in with the co-op work permit already. But for those that don't, we do work with them to help them out and navigate that process as well.
Dan, what kind of support and guidance do the students receive from the Co-op department through their placement?
So when a student goes out on work term, we work with them very closely. So we have 3 types of staff within my department. There's the co-op advisor, and that person works with the individual student to work on things like the resume, interview, all that sort of stuff. But when they're on work term, the co-op advisor also acts as a front point or first contact for any sort of issues that might arise. So if a student's having challenges in the workplace, we encourage them to reach out to their co-op advisor, raise that up, and we will help them problem solve that issue, or in some instances, we'll escalate it to the point of, we need to actually do some sort of intervention here. We need to stop whatever's going on happen. On the other side with that, we have employer relations consultants. We call them ERCs, and the ERCs work with employers specifically. So when the student is performing at work and they may not be doing as they were hoping, the employers will sometimes call the ERC, and then we will contact with the co-op advisor. And again, we'll triage, figure out, problem solve, and then move towards a solution. We have regular check-ins with the student, and we really want to make sure that the student has that comfort level and that security to know that Yes, they're in the workplace in some instances for the really first time, but they're not alone. We have people there that they can reach out to and have conversations with.